Welcome to Shiloh Daily Connection. Today I'd like to share with you out of Psalm 142, in which David is sharing about trials and tribulations and distress in his life. He says in verse 1, I cry to the Lord with my voice. He says in verse 2, I pour out my complaint before him, and I declare before him my trouble. David laid open two things to God. First, his distress. He had been abandoned by his friends. He seemed that there was no way of escape, and he was defeated and discouraged. The next thing his desire was, he wanted to be heard by God and delivered by God. Why is he complaining? Well, he says in verse 3, when my spirit was overwhelmed within me, then you knew my path and the way in which I walked. They have secretly laid a snare for me. What David is saying is, Lord, you knew me. You walked with me, I walked with you, and still the troubles came. And so he says they were even laying in wait for him to trip him up. And so what about us today? Well, our troubles come in many different forms, different shapes, and different sizes. We have loss of reputation, we have bitter disappointments, and we have sin in our life. And so what is it that David wanted? He wanted God as his helpmate because God is the source of everything. And he said in verse 5, I cried to you, O Lord. You are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. Attend to my cry, for I am brought very low. Deliver me from my persecutors, for you shall deal bountifully with me. David was comforted by the Lord. When he felt overwhelmed, he said, you, Lord, knew my path. You knew my direction. And God is our only resource. He says he is our refuge in this psalm. He is our portion. So when everything else seems lost, when we feel like we've been abandoned by our human friends, then we have a friend in Jesus. David expected to be delivered, and when he did, he expected it to bring glory to the Father, and he would praise God for his deliverance. God is our source. Today, God is our source for living. Have a great day.